You don't like my attitude? I don't care. I don't like you. It doesn't matter. I'm not here for you. I'm here for Paul. You want your Ulafala back? I want my scalps. I want my revenge for what Solo and his crew did to my friend. If we survive War Games, you want to revisit this conversation? Just me and you? I'm all ears.
One time.
One time. One favor.
I owe you a favor.
No. No, you won't owe me anything. My friend, our wise man, will owe me a favor.
And Roman. CM Punk said, I'm going to one-up Reigns. Are you kidding me? I knew it. I knew it. That won't sit well with Roman Reigns as CM Punk enters his first ever War Games match. He just embarrassed the original tribal chief.
You talk too much and you don't listen enough. I just came out here and I said I put all the personal stuff aside. I'm long past running races with people that I didn't even know I was running. All right? 6 months ago, you were a champ. You had something I wanted. Now you got nothing. I know where I'm going. I know what's in my future, and kid, you ain't it. You've been thinking about me for 6 months? I don't think about you at all.
Now, you want to come back? After you watched us fight for months, after you watched us argue to the edge of the cliff and the last thing left to do was jump, now, you want to come back? E, you left us. I broke my neck. What do you mean? I've been doing my best.
You left us, E. Yeah, you broke your neck. So what? Stone Cold Steve Austin broke his neck, and he came back. Kurt Angle broke his neck, and he came back. Edge broke his neck, and he came back.
They didn't even have people here waiting for them. You had two family members who had the light on for you so you'd have something familiar to walk back into. And what'd you do with that, E, huh? Nothing. We didn't change. We didn't evolve at our own deficit for you.
In 3, 2, 1, clap.
Benoit balls.
I still think Kevin Sullivan did it. I'm Aubrey Edwards. I'm not a wrestler. Tony's quick sniffs of the week.
No, just my dickhead friends causing concussions and shit. All right, never mind.
There's barbecue sauce. So good, half the face don't work.
With Hogan that close up on the fucking camera reminds me of my racist uncle. I know you ain't listening, but you know who you are, you fucking racist.
Uncle Oh my God, for real, don't tell me that's his name. Oh, no way. I was kidding. I swear to God. That was just the first thing that came to my head. It was the first thing.
Welcome to the Top of Wrestling with your hosts ODM and the Professor.
Good luck beating the Bills. Hit the music.
The Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout, throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go Buffalo, let's go Buffalo, let's go Buffalo, let's go Buffalo. The Bills make me wanna shout.
That's the five-time AFC champs.
All right, DDP.
No, that's Booker T.
Oh, yeah. Stevie Ray.
But, yeah, there you go. I apologize to everybody. It's going to be a rough day. Got a little bit of laryngitis going here. Not sick, just fucked up throat. So we'll see how today runs. But I wasn't missing the show for two reasons, man. One, we got to talk Survivor Series. Two, I was not letting you make all the choices in our bracket. There was no fucking way I was letting that happen. I was like, I don't care if I have 180 temperature.
shit.
I'm fucking making this shit. But that being said, you were willing to take over the whole show if need be. So in the words of Jacob Fatu, ODM, I love you. So I know that you and the boys were all together watching Survivor Series on Saturday night. I didn't think I would be live, ended up being able to see it live. I cracked up at, you guys sent me a video singing Milli Vanilli at the end of the night, and I was like, oh, there's three drunk assholes.
We weren't that drunk.
You, Weezy, and Whiskey Man. So I had to remember that. So let's talk Survivor Series, obviously. Oh, first, by the way, yeah, this is the Top Wrestling Podcast. I'm the Professor. He's ODM. We have Bring It to the Table. We got news. We got the wars. We got a top topic. Here we go, the news. Survivor Series. All right. I got ups. I got downs.
Really? All right, let's go.
Well, the down is the entire women's War Games match. It was like watching a men's War Games match underwater. It was just slow, like Nia Jax's chair shots.
Oh, my God. The comparison to her and Hogan with chair shots online, that was the first thing I thought. And there was the one right at the beginning, I think it was Naomi. She went to swing, saw that Naomi wasn't in place, or Nia wasn't in place. I'm guessing Nia wasn't in place. And she just goes, no, bitch. And then does like a Hogan-esque chair shot to like her side. It was so fucking terrible. That was the running joke for the night. No, bitch.
The toilet seat cover on the head, that was new. Yeah. And hey, Io Sky jumped off the top of the cage with AEW. A trash can.
Listen. I don't ever remember her doing a moonsault with the trash can on. Maybe it's just happened so many times.
This was the first one
that I've forgotten. But yeah, everybody else there popped for it. Especially since they did the tandem. Jumps off the top of the cell. To me, it's like the one thing about Io Sky that I don't like. The trash can thing. It's just getting old.
Io Sky's trash can War Games jump is Kofi Kingston's Royal Rumble stupid shit.
Agreed. Good call.
Yeah. Rhea taking off the mask. Everybody, going nuts for that. Did you see her doing pull-ups in the cage when she was by herself, just waiting to be the last one to come in?
There was a giveaway on the last Raw. Or maybe it was, I think the last Raw with her. Because a couple weeks ago, she had, the Bill Lambier black mask on. That's a callback if you know what I'm talking about. And you could see her good eye still had eye makeup. Her bad eye didn't. And you could actually see, like, the yellow with all the bruising and everything. Last week, before the pay-per-view, the go-home show, she had makeup on both eyes. They wouldn't put makeup on there if her eye wasn't all good.
True. All right, fair enough. I look at that little attention to detail. That was a good one.
I tend to stare at mommy, so not
fair
surprising.
enough. We had a feel in the faces we're going to win this one, I think.
Yes.
I think that's what we called.
Yes.
The celebration with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley may be one of my favorite new things of all time.
Buster was messaging me the whole time, and it was kind of funny. It was kind of meta to have Weezy next to me and Buster messaging me. You know,
Yeah.
and then obviously you were messaging too, so it was like we were all kind of interacting. It was kind of fun.
I don't think Buster knew I was live, or else I probably would have heard from
Oh,
him. He asked me
okay,
the next day. He
okay.
goes, "Did you see the show?" And hey, that's respect, man. You know I'm in
Yeah.
California. I may not watch it on time.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, Buster and I kind of become best buds. I think we're better friends than you guys are, but that's a whole different story altogether.
We're closer. We're like family.
Dude, I think it had barely happened, and he already sent me pictures. And I said something about, he's like, "Oh man, you must be loving this." And I said something, I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's in the bank." You.
I hit pause. We're not watching the rest of the
And then
show.
he sent me
I
the
told
pic-
everybody to go home.
He sent me a couple screen grabs, and the one is even more glorious than I remember it in my brain. Whew.
It was.
It's the
I
best
just
thing
wasn't
ever.
ready for it, and it's great because it's Rhea. You know what I mean?
Think she brought her home to Buddy?
Lucky bastard. There's a lot of people who are upset about LA Knight dropping the title this quote unquote early from SummerSlam to now. Why does everybody have to have a 4-year reign with every title, man? I'm all for it. Nakamura is someone put the stat up. Only 3 people who have ever won the actual Royal Rumble have never won a world title. Jim Duggan.
Yep.
He and of course Nakamura is one of them. I can't remember who the other one was, but even fucking Vince McMahon won the Rumble, and he actually has a WWF title reign.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
So, I love this. I think it's great. I like the new look, the new song.
Bro.
Just a little bit, different. It's just with the beat to it, it makes it just that much better.
Very Muda-ish with the mask and everything, and he's even got the mist. And dude,
the red sun.
Yeah.
In the entrance.
I fucking love it. Love it. You know, at this point, just fucking put the world title on him for a week. I don't care.
I don't think Nakamura will ever actually reach that.
I was at a point where I was ready to let go of that, and that was a long time ago I came to that conclusion. But seeing this new reinvention, he's so fucking awesome. So awesome.
I feel like if they were going to do it, it would have been when he was facing off with Seth, though.
Sure. No, I agree. I know. I'm just saying. Being a mark. That's what we do here.
Braun Breaker retained his Intercontinental Championship in a triple threat match, which we knew was going to be the more likely match of the night when it came to wrestling-wise. I actually had a thought Kaiser was going to win, man. There was a couple of moments I really thought
They were
he was
pumping
gonna
him
win.
up. Yeah, they were pumping him up. The Sheamus spot behind the barricade.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
So fucking great. So goddamn hilarious.
I didn't realize how tall Kaiser is because he's been with Gunther and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That when he was standing with Braun Breaker on Raw, I'm like, oh, he's taller than Breaker. Holy shit. But I think that's where they're going with that, is the next match will be between those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Gunther retained against Priest. I was wondering how they were going to do it to keep him strong, and I fucking forgot about Finn Balor completely, and I think that was smart.
It was fucking great. Listen, I think, and reading the room at while we were watching it, that was the least favorite because everybody that is there, Weezy, Mrs. Weezy, Whiskey Man, they all hate Gunther.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they hate him. He's one of our favorites, and I think consensus was that was the boring match of the night. I thought it was brilliant. You know why? And
I liked it.
And I actually said why I liked it, and I think of all people, Whiskey Man kind of agreed with me. I think Weezy did too. I said, you know what? It's boring because there's no fucking high spots. There's no tables.
Yeah.
There's no chairs. It's just two guys beating the piss out of each other because they hate each other and they want the title.
It was a hoss fight.
Exactly. It was fucking great.
No, I was all for it. I actually was very much into that match.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And then the main event, which gets led by, and I don't know if you guys saw this, because if you guys were taking any smoke breaks or anything, they did NFL or like college introductions for each team. And Roman Reigns was the Isle of Yeah. Anyway, Yeet University for Jay Uso. Sami Zayn went to Uso Penitentiary. It was awesome.
It's like that Key and Peele sketch. Quattro,
Yeah, it was
Quattro, Compton, Los Angeles.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I texted you guys what I thought the order was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also texted, I said, I just want to throw this out there. And this one I did before the pay-per-view even began. I said, Punk's going to want to walk in to be fourth, and Roman's going to cut him off, leaving you wondering about loyalty. And motherfucker, they did it at 3, where Sammy ended up having to go in. I was like, I was that close on that call, man.
It was so great. It was so
Everyone
great.
popped.
Because Roman is so good at just like no selling it. Just like he just put his arm out and didn't even look at Punk. And Punk's like biting his lip like, what the fuck? Oh, by the way, when Punk came out and the heels were all in the cage already, he went up and slapped Bronson Reed. The reports are that wasn't planned.
I love it. Good for him. Why does every move you do have to be 2AT scripted?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not go fucking pie face one of those guys?
Yup.
They're in a cage. They can't do anything to you. I loved it.
Dude, Punk's on fire. Punk's on. We'll get when we talk about Raw, dude.
Hey, thank you, Jack Perry. So that was the most viewed moment, was him cutting him off.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 104 million or some shit like that, like just the cutoff.
Dope.
Sammy sold it well. The spot where he saves Roman, even though Roman picks up every one of the members of the team and leaves Punk sitting on the ground.
Yep.
I was like,
dude,
God
and the
damn.
timing where he pulled Roman off that table, dude, that was literally the last second. It was if you watch
unfortunately, Bronson Reed, I think broke his ankle or did something to it.
Yeah, his ankle. Yeah, he's in a boot.
He didn't pull Edge. He didn't land directly on his feet.
Well,
first.
there's a lot of memes
He put
out
some
there
weight
combined. It was what's the meme? It's like a split screen. One half is Edge's face, the other is Bronson Reed's face, and it says, "You can kill the man, but you can't kill the myth," or something like that.
Yep. There was so many good moments in the match. I loved, obviously, the favor. You know, and that's going back to SmackDown, by the way, because we'll backtrack here. That sit-down was fantastic.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Another, it was Heyman produced. It looked almost like the Cody Roman one in the center field.
Yep.
It just, to me, love that kind of stuff. And the thing I really liked was, and I can't remember, it may be, I think it's Sam Roberts, someone said it, I can't remember. If you look at Solo right before everyone beats the piss out of him, it's like Denzel in Training Day. He's like, you motherfuckers, looking around. All of a sudden, everybody just fucks him up. Between NXT and WWE, that was WWE's best best War Games. More than the Undisputed Era ones. The only issue, aren't they supposed to end on a submission or a
pinfall?
You quit?
No, submission or pinfall. Yeah.
I could have sworn it was if you escape the cage.
Escaping the cage is
WCW's version.
No, escaping the cage is actually immediate disqualification, forfeit. They brought that up,
but I think it was either submission or surrender. That's usually what it is.
Maybe in the WCW, but I don't think it was. I think there's pinfalls. I think there's always been pinfalls. I could be wrong.
Well, to warm up for War Games, I actually watched Wrestle War '92.
Yeah.
And that was Sting Squadron versus Dangerous Alliance. Mm-hmm. But also, that was Pillman versus Tom Zink, the Z-Man, for the... Oh, man, I remember what... It was like the AAA championship or something shit like that. It was like or light heavyweight championship. God damn, that was a banger. I wasn't expecting to see that match. I was only going to watch the War Games, and that one sucked me right in. War Games, like I said, WWE, they did it on this one. This was a good job. The post-show, Punk in the muffins with Jay and all that shit. God bless him. Just overall thought it was really good. And like I said, there was ups and downs for the show. I think the women's War Games match just had a really slow start to the pay-per-view for me.
It did. We all actually were commenting on that as well. Yeah, it was a very slow start, especially because you had Nia Jax in there.
Well,
you know, and she and nobody likes Nia Jax. Nobody. She's got X-Pac heat. She's got
Sami
Zayn.
That's still gun to head. Anyway. So, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Bianca Belair, all three performed a hat trick. All three competed and won all War Games matches from starting in the 2022, 23, and now this year, 24. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Here's something that people were upset with. There was about 15 to 20 minutes in between each match. And like, in total, I think it was like an hour's worth or some shit like that. People waited.
People were tabulating.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. I have no problem with it. I don't need to have match after match after match because then I'm like, oh, well, is this the one I want to miss?
13 matches on a card.
Thank you. I liked it. It's like boxing. Boxing had the same exact thing, right? It's always you bout, and then about 15 minutes before the next one. Everyone got to go to the bathroom, grab something to eat, drink, smoke, do whatever the fuck you wanted to.
Bingo.
I loved it.
Bingo. Nailed it.
It's perfect. It's so funny. Last week, I almost said, where the fuck is Matt Riddle?
Okay,
you know, like I know
bro.
he popped up in New Japan for a little bit.
Right.
Okay, bro. But he ended up replacing Trey Miguel, who had travel issues for Turning Point on Friday night. And Matt Riddle was the one that shows up and teamed with the Hardys, who, by the way, have signed officially with TNA. They were working on a handshake deal all this time for months. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. You know, why as a company would you commit to the Hardys at this point?
Yeah.
And the Hardys are probably just happy just to be working, you know, because they love it.
That's fair. Someone who's not going to be working, a man who just came back from injury.
Yeah.
He just came
Literally,
back.
like a month ago.
Juice Robinson breaks his fucking foot in the Continental Classic match, and he's out. I don't know if they're going to replace him or everyone gets a bye. You know, I mean, they only have one match in or like a couple matches in. Funny thing about that is they said that, well, we're switching things up this year for the Continental Classic. The only switch up is that they're doing the semifinals and the finals on the same night at World's End. That's the only difference. So someone's going to wrestle, or two people are going to wrestle twice.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand it. If you win, do you just automatically get Kazuchika Okada's title? What if he's not in the finals? Or what if he is in the finals? Is he defending it? It's a weird thing. It doesn't make fucking sense. They're doing a tournament like it's a trophy.
Yeah, I know, dude. Listen, I completely agree with you. I still think that it's whoever wins the tournament gets the title, whether or not Okada's there. I think that's how it's supposed to work, or how they explained it the first time around.
But then why defend it all the time?
I don't know, dude. I can't. Tony Khan and AEW. Stop looking for logic.
I'm trying, and that's the problem, and I'm losing my voice, getting upset about it. Douche Meltzer, he gave some ratings to Full Gear. This motherfucker gave Ospreay and Felcher 5.25 stars.
I thought he'd give him more.
I'm actually shocked he didn't give him more, but what's funny is, don't forget, this is the one that was the jumping pile driver onto steel steps from the ring apron, and still had 5 to 10 more minutes of wrestling.
Right.
And then he gave Chris Statlander and Mercedes Moné 4.5 out of 5 stars. To quote Matt Riddle, bro. Horrible.
I didn't know Dave Meltzer smoked crack.
I think maybe he's not as... Well, maybe he's not gay after all. Maybe he is getting some from Mercedes.
Wait, well, you never know. I'll give you a handy if you give me 4.5 stars. You.
All right, but you're going to have to turn the light off. That big forehead's going to be a problem. So, yeah, the Continental Classic got underway. That's whatever. But one of the most funniest things is that Tony Schiavone and your uncle should go bowling sometime. Tony kept fucking calling Shelton Benjamin Bobby Lashley. Lashley wasn't even at ringside. He was just like, black guy, Bobby Lashley. And I mean, like, multiple times. And Excalibur's like, you mean Shelton Benjamin? Yes, Shelton Benjamin. The Cutman Slayer just, Lashley with a hit.
Oh, my God.
No.
Schiavone's terrible.
Bad. I mean, like, I can't even. Anyway, so let's talk about Raw. CM Punk opens it up. We got 30 minutes commercial free, which is always nice. Which is funny, though, because then everybody drags their shit out. Like, it took Rollins almost a solid minute to put the mic to his face. I was like, just do it. Good shit. Bro. The whole, you got nothing I want. So you're not even in my thoughts.
Yep.
That, and then you talk too much and don't listen enough. And then Seth does the same line back to him. I thought it was great. It was funny, though, when Punk started pointing to the sign that wasn't there. Everybody is like, what? I don't see it.
Yep, the crowd was confused. I got it right away without any context.
I did too.
Because I saw the clip. And, it was fucking great. Basically, he's calling his shot. He wants to main event WrestleMania. That's been the get the whole fucking time. That's why he left the fucking company. Oh, well, you can co-main event, a.k.a. go on second to last. So I think that's the story here is he's got a main event, whether to win the title or to lose the title and win it on the way.
Or just a big marquee match.
I mean, something. But yeah, dude, it was great just, telling a story about how he, he had a line and I forgot what it was, but just about like that's the goal. He's got there's a lot of forks in the road. Might be Elimination Chamber, it may be the Rumble. But he made it clear.
But I got a couple of favors in my pocket that if I need to cash in on. Dude. So out comes Rollins. Now, his whole thing, I already hate him as it is, but it's amazing that, how it went. When they started pushing each other, when Seth pushed him down, I swear to God, when Punk got up, his first thing he did was actually go for a full-blown swing. And I was like, are they like, all right, we're going to at least hit each other a couple times for real because we really don't like each other, or were they making it look that good? Mm-hmm. Punk swinging, I'm saying like it wasn't a work punch. It didn't look like a work punch to me. Sammy and Jay immediately coming out, and you don't get to talk to Jay like that. That shit made me laugh. But Sammy called it out. You created Roman, man. You hit him in the back with the chair 10 years ago. You made this. Mm-hmm. Crazy if you really think about it.
Actually, I saw someone storytelling.
It is. And it's funny, I saw someone put online, actually, you guys know that the whole reason Roman is where he's at is because of Dave Bautista. Mm-hmm. Because him leaving Evolution was the plan B. We get Seth. I thought that was pretty funny. But then on the same night after they have a match and Jay gets attacked, Drew McIntyre makes his... By the way, this is easily the best Raw of 24. I got to be honest with you. Maybe top 5 episodes of Raw completely.
Naturally, it's the one that I missed, yeah.
Oh, my God. So Drew, Claymore kicks Sammy, and I like the announcers. As soon as it was a Claymore, Joe Tessitore, whatever his name is, he goes... He goes, it's Drew McIntyre, and he still didn't have his hood off yet.
Right.
I'm like, good, thank you, because we knew who it was by height, by kick. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, that's huge. Him coming back. If he's the one that took out Jay, I could see him and Jay, but I don't know, maybe him and Sammy. I'm not sure where Drew is going to head into this new road to WrestleMania this year.
Let him
doesn't matter.
Yeah, let him use Sammy as a stepping stone. They don't need him with the bloodline anymore. You know what I mean? We can move on from that.
R-Truth beats Pete Dunne, which I saw coming. Next week, we're going to get the Wyatt Six versus Final Testament in an 8-man tag. But the part of Raw that,
we got swerved.
We got swerved hard, bro. I was like, it's either going to be Xavier turns or Kofi turns. Motherfucker, both of them turned. What? The way they ran down Big E, the whole you broke your neck. You ever seen that funny Vine? The one kid, he's like, I'm gonna say it. I don't care that you broke your arm. It's like a kid in school. It's like a big dorky kid. Someone did that. Like, I don't even care that you broke your neck.
Dude, how many wrestlers?
People,
like, you seen how many wrestlers have come to Twitter and be like, I broke my neck and I came back.
Hurricane did it, and he did his. What's up with that? They even named Edge. Mm-hmm. They said Edge's name, which I was like, oh. And I'm not sure if that was because, I mean, they recently, I heard they just recently copyrighted that name or something, and there was like little rumblings or whatever, but I don't see him going back within under a year. He just went there last year. So he's not coming back to WWE anytime soon. I almost wonder if they trademarked it again just so Kofi could say it.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
But I didn't realize that Big E was banging Michin's sister. Because they're all going at it on Twitter right now.
I saw Big E's wife saying
Xavier was like, well, I don't have to eat that bland food. And she's like, well, you want to talk about bland? Your singles run is pretty bland. Whatever the fuck. I was like, oh, my God. She said
Kofi needs to work on that bird chest.
The bird chest. Oh, my God. That is fantastic.
You're saying what we're all thinking.
So at first I couldn't tell. When they said, well, we came to a decision, I'm like, okay, then Big E comes out. The way Kofi was dressed in the denim, I was like, it gave me HBK leather barbershop. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, come on, here we go. I didn't see it coming where they were both going to turn, man.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't see it.
As you said, we got swerved.
Dude, Karrion Kross had the best tweet. He goes, I'm glad you finally saw what I wanted you to see. A new day.
Wow. I'm almost like, do you keep the name? Or do you guys start a new name?
Well, if you keep it, it works because of the irony. Because it really is a new day.
It is a new day.
You know, so
now all of a sudden I want these guys to be in tag team contendership. I'm like, they're hardcore heels. I'm all for this.
Keep it going. I mean, would you have ever seen this? Did you ever think the New Day were going to turn heel? They started heel, but they only turned face because it wasn't working, them being a heel, and it was like, all right, we got to do something to get over, and they're like, all right, let's just start being baby faces, and there you go.
Oh man, it was just, I'm
brilliant.
Dumbfounded, to be honest with you. I just wasn't ready, and I sat there being like, you left us, E. I go, motherfucker.
Bitching every week about, God damn it, just pull the trigger. God damn it, just pull the trigger. And, oh, you had a plan.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, never mind.
And quit teasing these people. You're never going to wrestle again, E. Jesus Christ. And it's fine. Then you hear the crowd going, Big E rocks. Big E rocks. So those guys went immediately heel. They did a great job with that whole segment.
I can't wait
for that.
I can't wait for them to come out and get booed.
Oh, and they will. They're going to. Because here's the deal. If you had just, let's say, attacked the Viking Raiders and turned heel, right?
Sure.
Okay, fine.
Not a lot of heat there.
But you ran down Big E.
The most popular
Everyone has
member.
a soft spot for him for his broken neck and everything that happened. People love Big E. You ran him down. Best way to turn heel. I think, honestly, probably one of the best heel turns of all year.
Take note, TK. Take note.
Oh, my God. Fantastic. I do got to say, Buster messaged me before the show. And he said, hey, man, normally it's the Bills Shout song that's stuck in my head.
He messaged me, too.
He had, Together, our love will last forever. By the way, that was 100% a rib at you just for playing that 10 times in a row at the end last week. But I'm glad I got that stuck in other people's head because it was in mine a lot last week after the show.
It's in mine too, unfortunately.
This song will last forever. You want to play it now? Nah, fuck it. Let's just go to the table.
Yeah.
Just bring it, bitch! Oh my God!
So, next week, the day that you and I normally record, it's my birthday, and I'm going to be coming back from L.A. to go see the Bills-Rams.
Nice.
Yeah, but there's a slight possibility you may be solo next week.
All right. That's fine. I
had
a bumper prepared for today in case you weren't able to make it.
All right. Well,
so maybe I get to use it next week.
We'll find out. But going to see Bills and Rams, baby. Woo!
Dude, what about that the lake effect lateral?
Dude.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
the first quarterback to do a rushing, a catching, and a throwing touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Or passing. I did. It was nuts.
You're
as
just
soon as
sitting
he
there
turned,
like,
I was like, well, I actually said, I'm like, why not lateral it? I've actually had that thought many times. And Josh was just there at the right time. And that was what? Was that Amari Cooper?
It was Amari Cooper, yeah. And it was literally just, he looked up and he's like, Josh is standing there looking at me with his arms out. I'm like, all right, here, fucking take it.
Good for him.
The picture of the dive. The picture of the dive at the pylon, that's fucking art.
Lil John messaged me. This is a good one. He sent me a video, and I was like, wow, Josh Allen's really on one. It's a video of Josh Allen at that interview with Amari Cooper, the post-show, or post-game conference.
Yep.
And the video he sent, he's like, you guys had me at 67% of being an MVP. I'm at 99, motherfucker. And he goes, and that Kermit the Frog looking motherfucker, I'm better than him. I'm better than him. And I go, wow, holy shit, Josh was really on one.
Was it AI?
Yeah, it was AI generated, and I fucking fell for it. Because then I wrote back to Lil Jon, and I said, yo, just so you know, I went and looked at that interview. I think that thing was fake. And he wrote, what? And I go, I think someone created it. And he goes, I was being sarcastic, asshole. He goes, I knew it was. I go, I didn't apparently look that hard at his lips. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, wow, Josh is making enemies, calling him the Kermit the Frog motherfucker. Hell yeah.
That's awesome. That's fucking hilarious.
I got.
You got.
I was also not doing well. I was just coming back from urgent care. I was not really, paying attention, but I was enough.
Well, it's good to have excuses.
Yeah, I have them. I have a lot of them. Go ahead.
All right, I'm just gonna let you know. Hey, man, I'm just gonna ramble here because I had no idea what was gonna happen today. So I'm just gonna bring up some things I'm thankful for. We just got past Thanksgiving. I had my parents over. Threw a turkey on the smoker. You saw the picture.
Yo, the mac and cheese looked fucking bomb.
Bro, the smoked mac and cheese with bacon panko topping. Bro.
And when is it going to make it to here? I know you said you were going to ship some.
I put one in the freezer. I left it in the skillet. I'm going to slap you in the face with it when I see you.
Can't wait.
But no, it was
cheese slaps.
A very nice night. Yeah, we got the fucking Christmas decorations up already. Everything's looking beautiful around the house. I'm thankful for Nakamura's reinvention. One of my favorites, seeing him come back with a new fucking persona. That's fucking beautiful. I'm thankful for Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. I'm very thankful for that. But one of the things that I'm very thankful for is my favorite new wrestler, Jacob Fatu. I'm getting a Samoan werewolf t-shirt because the t-shirt looks dope. And the shot, I've got the screen grab of him from War Games where he's just like kneeling on the mat with like the praying, his hands together like he's, I love you, Solo, but the fucked up look and his eyes all wide. That's my new profile picture for my
Talking about this one here that I have up?
That one right there. That's my new PS5. That's my new PlayStation account profile pic. And it's going to be my new response to people when I want to say thank you. Instead of saying thank you, I'm sending that picture. I already did it to awesome. Mrs. Weezy. We were exchanging recipes, and she sent me one, and I sent that back. She never responded, so she's either like, what the fuck is this? Or she's like, Mike, what is this? And he's like, and he just started laughing. So either way, I am thankful for, and I'm thankful for you, Professor, and I'm thankful for this show. Work can go fuck off.
Yeah.
And my wife
right back
and my
at
kids
you, by
too.
the way, for both work and the thankfulness. By the way, did you like how in the photo Jacob is looking pretty much right at Rhea and purposeful? You're welcome. Let's go to the wars.
Monday Night Wars!
I need you to sign these annulment papers.
Hey, wait. One sec. Mrs. Helmsley. Outlaws are in there in the shower. They're all soaked up. Why don't you make yourself at home and I'll be in there in a second.
What? It's my wife, man.
Oh.
You know what?
I'm gonna get in there.
You know what? I'm really trying to be serious here. Hunter, I'm appealing to you as a human being. I mean, I would hope that you'd have some shred of decency in you. You've ruined my life. You got what you want. You've driven my father absolutely crazy. Listen, it's over now. Would you please just sign these papers? Please.
All right, look, hey, stop. What? All right, look. In all seriousness, okay, and being completely serious here now, Steph. Are we getting in the shower or not? I mean, come on, the water's hot. All right, Steph, hold on, all right. Look, really, all right. Least I can do is look at him, all right? I mean, see, I'm not such a bad guy. I can be a really nice guy, right? So how about you being nice? Right? You give me a little shot of that too, huh? Come on, honey, where are you going?
It's the Wars, and Stephanie wants an annulment. Let me ask you something. I thought an annulment only can happen if you didn't have sex. Because last week, Triple H said they definitely consummated the marriage. Too soon?
Boo.
Fuck you. All right, man, just talk about the Wars.
December 6, 1999, Raw emanates from Worcester, Massachusetts. I don't know why I said it like that. That was a New York accent.
I was like, that was more
on Method Man's second album. There's an interlude. They got a bunch of interludes, and there's one with Ed Lover. He's like, man, it's your main dude who's staying Ed Lover. It's like, what the fuck is Meth? He's like, I don't know if he's in Long Island, Staten Island. I don't give a fuck if he's in Worcester, Massachusetts. If you see Method Man, get at it, brother, man. It was just
nice.
Side note, I don't know.
All right,
Anyway,
well, you redeemed yourself. All
there
right.
you go. It's the go-home show for Armageddon. Opens with Outlaws versus Too Cool at Rikishi for the tag titles. The Outlaws want Rikishi sent to the back. They make fun of his ass. And Rikishi super kicks Mr. Ass. And then Rikishi and the Hollies get involved. The bell rings after like a minute, and it's just a no contest.
Who wore it better, Rikishi or Mike Tyson? Sorry, move on.
I got nothing for you. A limo arrives to the arena. It's Stephanie. She has papers in hand. And on SmackDown, they reference that she told Vince and Shane that she wants to handle this whole Triple H marriage thing while she was drugged her own way. Mankind comes to the ring, cuts a promo on his book being number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list, shows footage on the Tron of Snow taking a cheap shot on Rock at SmackDown. He calls Al Snow to the ring. Snow cuts a promo on Mankind, says the fans don't care about you. He's basically saying, were they there when you fucking were, crippled? Were they there when you needed help getting in the car? With, all this stuff. He yells at the fans, tell them to shut up, and he says the only thing they're going to remember about you is coming off the top of that cage. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. Rocky doesn't either. And it's a back and forth, and Snow says, you know what? I'm going to find a partner tonight, and we're going to take on you and Rock. Mankind agrees. And then Al Snow calls Mankind's book a piece of garbage and says he was the one that threw Mankind's book in the trash, not The Rock. He attacks Mankind. They brawl. There you go. Setting that up. Stephanie's with Vince. Vince is not happy.
I gotta add one thing.
Oh, sure.
This.
Absolutely.
This feud could have been really, really good, and I feel like they end up cutting it short because the beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be going after Triple H for the title. So I'm like, I would have rather seen Mankind and Snow have a real long feud with some hardcore shit.
Yeah. I mean, especially because of the camaraderie that's there, or that was there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it really could have been a whole lot more. Stephanie's in the back with Vince. Vince not happy about letting Steph just handle this all on her own. Vince says, if he harms you, I'm coming for him. Damn that restraining order. I don't care. And then Stephanie gives Vince a very, very creepy kiss on the cheek. Very creepy. Her giving it and Vince smiling were both gross.
She was the original Janelle.
Oh God, let's hope not. Is that how is that why her hair is so shiny? Is that why she makes that smile? Because she's used to smelling it.
It's like I smell poop.
Ew. Ew. Next, you get the Hardys with Terry versus Kurt Angle and Steve Blackman. As Blackman comes to the ring, this weird logo shows up on the Tron, and everybody's like, what the fuck? All right, never mind. Angle tells Blackman that he's making a great apprentice. Blackman completely botched a spot. It was weird. Like, Matt looked like he went for a drop down, and Blackman kind of just stood there. So it looked like Matt was the one who fucked up, and even Lawler called it out, but I guarantee you it's because Blackman didn't know what the fuck he was supposed to do. Blackman ends up using his little fighting sticks while the ref's distracted, and Angle gets the pin. Quick side note, rewatching the Wars, I know we looking back, it's like, oh, Blackman, I remember he was a real fighter, and he was there, and the whole spot was Shane. Steve Blackman sucks.
He really does.
He's
was
fucking
not a good
terrible.
wrestler.
He's fucking terrible.
The best thing he ever did was have that match with Shane.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You could have had a good feud with him and Ken Shamrock, but neither of them really could work.
They used him to write Shamrock off of TV when Shamrock left.
That was it.
Yeah, that's it. Steph's in the back. She heads to the DX locker room with the papers, and she's talking with Triple H. X-Pac's sitting next to him, and she wants him to sign the annulment papers. And X-Pac says, Mrs. Helmsley. Yeah, that was funny. That was pretty fucking funny. Says, the New Age Outlaws are in the shower, why don't you make yourself at home, and I'll be there in a second. Triple H says, hey, man, that's my wife. And Triple H says, all right, in all seriousness, are we getting in the shower or what? The hot water's running out. He says, all right, least I can do is look at the papers. And he says, and then give me a shot of that booty. And Stephanie just walks off.
Poor Joni Lawler.
Next, you get Val Venus versus D'Lo for a number one contendership for the European title. Winner's going to face Bulldog at Armageddon. Bulldog and Mean Street Posse run in and beat both men down, so probably a triple threat. Next, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just waiting on you.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you want to take a longer pause?
I saw.
It is an audio show.
I saw what's coming up next, and I had to regain my composure here and figure out how I want to address this. JR mentions that Moolah and Mae Young are going to be at the Billboard Awards this week, Wednesday, I believe it is, and we get a video of them on the set of the Billboard Awards. Mae Young has a 40 in a paper bag, and she's pouring one out for the homies.
I love it.
Moolah comes in and says, hey, save it for the awards. You know what? Your favorite band's going to be there, DMX. And Mae goes, where my dogs at? I know, your favorite band, The Guy.
I love it.
Mae says, where my dogs at? Come on! What? And
I've told you, Reading Rainbow by DMX is the best fucking thing, and it's not even him, but it's the best
We've
thing.
discussed it on the show before, absolutely. I think it was a hidden track.
I can go anywhere.
Come on!
Suck my dick!
And then Moolah says, oh, Mae, you went crazy old cracker.
Who produced this segment? It's probably Vince.
Not Russo.
I'll call her a cracker.
Vince. Yeah. Mankind's talking with The Rock backstage. We get no sound, but The Rock doesn't look happy. Triple H is talking with DX. Then we get Godfather versus Prince Albert. The Hoes have Godfather shirts. Albert is from Boston, but he gets no pop, and the Godfather wins. We see Triple H in the back. He has the papers that Stephanie gave him, and he has some roses. He heads to the ring. He asks the crowd how they feel about his beautiful bride. And he says, you know what, on SmackDown, she poured her soul out, and you guys called her a slut and a whore. She wants to call it quits, but I know she loves me. And if that's what she wants, he starts fake crying. He goes, all right, I'll sign the paper. Steph, come on down. And Steph comes down, obviously knowing he's full of shit. She takes the flowers. She chucks them into the crowd. That gets a pop. Triple H checks out her ass, and he says he's getting all warm and fuzzy. I don't know why. She ain't got much of an ass. And he says, you complete me, and I can't sign these. Steph says, I'm tired of your games, you insincere son of a bitch. I hope my father cripples you. And Triple H says, you know what? If that old goat can beat me, I'll sign these papers. If your dad, well, shit. If my dad...
That was a good one.
This is a good one. But if I win, I get my title shot. Steph says, you know what, I can have that arranged. And Triple H says, I want to hear it from Vince. So Vince comes out, and Triple H says, Dad. Vince accepts. He wants it in writing. Triple H tells Vince, have your lawyers write it up and bring it to SmackDown. And then Triple H dips Stephanie and gives her a nice old smooch involuntarily because Attitude Era.
I do got to say, on SmackDown, Stephanie was talking with Tess, and he's like, well, what does this mean for us? And she's like, I just need time to think about everything. And he walked away all sad, which is why the crowd was chanting slut. I'm like, she was drugged up and raped, and you guys are calling her the slut?
Yeah.
What was she wearing? That's the thing.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not blaming the victim.
I got nothing. Moving on.
She's not a victim. This is all a hoax anyway. And you don't have to get upset about it because wrestling isn't real.
I don't appreciate your ruse. Mankind's with Vince and the Stooges, and Mankind's just there to offer pointers to Vince for his match. Next, you get Hardcore Holly with Crash versus Rikishi. Too Cool's on commentary. It's a squash. Rikishi wins, and Too Cool comes in for the dance routine. We see BB, a.k.a.
A couple of references, by the way, of being that Jerry is there, and a couple quick references.
Obviously, yeah.
Son.
They've been doing that since Christopher showed up.
Well,
absolutely. We see BB, a.k.a. Barbara Bush, in the back. She's in an evening gown and rubbing lotion on her cleavage. Because, I mean, why wouldn't you?
You missed a spot.
Yeah, well, they didn't show the rest of that video when Vince walked in. We go back. We go back to we go back to Moolah and May at the Billboard Awards. Mae Young is doing the Cabbage Patch. If you're too young, look it up.
Everyone what the Cabbage Patch is.
I am not going to do it, even though it's not a video podcast. I'm still not going to do it.
I'm saying remind them. Tell them what this is.
It's a dance
I don't remember.
from
What's
like
the
the
Cabbage
90s. I'm not doing it. Anyway.
This one?
And then, yes, very good. There you go, fella.
Yeah.
And,
it's my favorite one.
It is a fun one. Major Pain.
It's kind of churning the butter.
Major Pain. Yeah.
With both arms.
I'd say a Saturday night, but that's probably why your throat's so sore. And then May says...
fuck you.
Did you go to Richland this weekend? Inside joke.
Or a hidden track.
Or hidden
track.
Either way, I don't know. And then May says she's living La Vida Loco.
Upside, inside.
There you go. Who apparently was doing coke with Joey Diaz once, but that's a different story altogether. Michael Cole's in the ring with BB. Ivory immediately interrupts and heads to the ring. Ivory says BB has fake tits. Too bad she can't buy a brain enhancement. She calls Michael Cole her boy toy. Come over here, boy toy, and take this. You're a good boy toy. Apparently,
he liked that scene.
Oh, I'm sure he loved it. I'm sure he loved it. He was all warm and fuzzy. There's going to be a 4-corner evening gown match at Armageddon. Can't wait. Jacqueline comes to the ring. Apparently, she's going to be in it. That logo shows up on the Tron again. No explanation. But the best part is Lawler goes, it's probably Kevin Dunn.
Actually, just calls him by name. It's amazing.
And then Chyna comes to the ring and says, don't worry, girls. I'm not going to be the fourth, but Miss Kitty will be the fourth. And Miss Kitty's like, I don't want to do that. Mr. Lawler said, as long as I... Never mind.
Well, the reason she didn't want to is she had a big history exam the next day.
Yeah.
In 6th grade.
Jesus Christ. Young girl, get out
of Jerry Lawler loves that fucking song.
You better run, girl.
Oh, we're off the rails. Here we go.
We're off the rails. Big Show and Viscera are fighting in the locker room. They have a title match tonight. Viscera splashes Big Show through a table. Next, you get Kane and Test versus Triple H and X-Pac. X-Pac grabs Tori, goes to hit a Bronco Buster, but Kane grabs him by the throat. They start to fight off. The ref follows them, so Triple H hits a low blow to Test. Pedigree gets the win. All right, next you get Big Show versus Viscera, the world title. Show is so pissed he just tosses the title to Tim White and he wins quickly. We see a video on the Tron, and it's Big Boss Man with Big Show's mom. It says, listen, in this envelope, I got news about you and Big Show's dad's past. And Big Show's mom is just crying. Like horrible, horrible, horrible fake crying. You tell him or I will. And she's like, no, I want to tell him. He's illegitimate. So he's a bastard. That's what you're telling me. Well, guess what? Looking in that mirror, you see that little red light? You just told the whole world that your son's a bastard. That's 10 times worse than his daddy being dead.
Just when you think that Boss Man has done enough, he keeps going.
I know, right? And then he's just gone.
Yeah.
And he's just gone. We come back from break, Show's on the phone with his mother. He's freaking out, and he's drooling yet again. Go back and look at any big moment from Big Show early in his career, and he's drooling.
Dude, it's like he did it a lot as the Giant in WCW too. Especially when he was talking about that big beef mansion, he was foaming.
Oh shit! The main event, it's Rockin' Sock Connection versus Al Snow and Chris Jericho. He has a copy of WWE the music stuffed in his trunks, and he throws it into the crowd. He calls Mankind Mike Foley. Oh, I love it. Man, old Chris Jericho's the best. China comes in from behind, attacks Jericho, rocks the hot tag. The Outlaws come in, they attack Mankind. Ref starts following Rock and Jericho fighting off. Rock eventually makes the save. It was just a wonky finish to Raw.
Yep. It's funny watching Jericho back then, and I'm watching it. I'm like, I'm gonna hate you in 25 years, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I can't stand anything he does nowadays.
Yeah, no, it's fucking terrible. Nitro is in Milwaukee.
Wayne's World.
There you go.
The Algonquins call it the Good Land.
The Good Land.
Does this guy know how to party or what?
We're all full of all kinds of surprises here. Gene's in the ring for once. He opens up the show. He's with Jeff Jarrett. I'm just noticing now that Jeff Jarrett's sunglasses look like safety glasses. I think he got them from Lowe's. I don't know. It's just
they do
weird.
look like, you're right. The yellow, yeah.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett calls Gene slap nuts. Gotta love it. Takes the mic from him. Says, I'm the chosen one, and I don't need the powers that be or the outsiders. I just need the WCW title around my waist. Cuts a promo on Dustin Rhodes, and he says, how about you and I have a bunkhouse brawl match? And if you're unfamiliar, back when Dustin was previously in WCW, was famed for having a bunkhouse match.
Yep.
And he says, didn't his old fat daddy invent the damn thing? He asks Gene where Slappy, a.k.a. Tenay, is. He threatens hitting Gene with the guitar. Mike Tenay comes to the ring and says, hey, nobody else is going to stand up to you. I'm going to stand up to you, and I'm going to take matters into my own hand. And I started thinking at this point, maybe Mike Tenay actually is La Parka.
Dude, it's so bad. I'm like, oh, cool. Now we're just getting commentators and announcers in on shit, too. I will say, the other day I just read a thing that Vince Russo said the biggest thing he regrets ever doing was the OK JR thing. He goes, looking back on it, he goes, it was, all gloves are off, but looking back on it now, I'm like, what the fuck were you doing? I'm like, well, okay, at least you have a little something in your head that made you realize something was bad.
Yeah, no shit, right? Jeff Jarrett attacks Tenay, locks in the figure four, but Goldberg makes the save, and Jeff Jarrett powders. Strap in. This is just another evidence of a Russo show where everything is like 30-second clips, and they just get revisited 5 times throughout the show. Speaking of, Joey Marinara and the Goons are in the bowels of the building, and they mention meeting with the boss tonight, and he still wants LaRue and Disco. Hooray. And the absolute no context moment of the night, we see Brian Knobbs running through the middle of the woods in the middle of nowhere looking for Fit Finlay. And apparently they plan to meet up. Fit Finlay is dressed up like an Army Ranger. And he's apparently training Brian Knobbs because Brian Knobbs isn't even giving him shit. He's like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. For reasons, because Russo.
But didn't he just like fucking jump him and cut his hair last week?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Made him his bitch. Got to assert dominance.
Just like Rhea does.
Nope. Norman Smiley comes to the ring. He's in a Packers uniform, complete with the cheese head. Cuts a promo on Fit Finley because he's not here, so it's easy for him to cut the promo. And he says he has an open hardcore title match, and it's Bertha Faye. It's Rhonda Singh, but it's Bertha Faye.
Oh, it's Bertha Faye.
Because Russo. The crowd.
The only thing that would have made it better is if he had Harvey Whippleman there with her.
I know, right? Because it's I think
rekindling that love.
It's funny because I think Bertha Faye uses the same music that Whippleman used in WWF. Smiley sets up for the wiggle on Bertha. That got a pop from commentary and the crowd, but Singh sprays him with the extinguisher, and she ends up going through a table though, and Smiley retains. We see the Maestro with his bimbo. They name her later. I'll just say it now. Her name is Symphony. Do you get it? Do you get it? Okay, very good. Yeah. Maestro says, my piano's out of tune. Darling, check the keys for me. So he goes under the hood of the piano, and he's looking at the strings and everything while she's hitting the keys. And David Flair just comes in, and he knocks the prop off, and the top of the piano smashes down on the Maestro, and David Flair, straight serial rapist murderer, puts his hand around Symphony's mouth and drags her off.
Because Russo.
Speaking of, he's with Kurt Hennig, Creative Control, Vincent Laparca, and Psychosis, and says, hey, I just got informed that Jushin Thunder Liger's got a rematch clause for his light heavyweight title, and Hoovy has a broken arm. Well, that answers that. And he says, you know what? In this office, Laparca and Psychosis, you guys are going to fight, and the first one to get out of here is going to defend the title. And so Psychosis jump starts it and just leaves the office because Russo.
So Mike Tenay lost.
Yep. Luger goes to Liz's locker room. She says, go away. And Luger says, come on, tonight's the night. I brought champagne. And she reluctantly opens the door. We see Tony Marinara in an office somewhere backstage, and somebody knocks at the door and says, pizza. And this fucking idiot's like, pizza? Why would somebody deliver pizza here? You know what my best course of action is? To go open the door and find out. It's Disco and Lash LaRue. Hooray.
I mean, come on. I would never turn down pizza. You get free pizza, you open the door. That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently that is how it works. Let's see. Yeah, so it's Jushin Thunder Liger versus Psychosis for the IWGP Light Heavyweight title, and Liger wins the title back as expected, and then Laparca comes to the ring and attacks Psychosis with the chair, the true chairman.
New Japan called, you have 1 week to get the title back on him. I don't know what accent that was. It may not have been Japanese.
It was actually pretty close.
Okay.
We see the Nitro Girls playing poker, and the goons walk up. It's Big Vito and fucking Johnny the Bull or some gay shit like that. I don't fucking know. Who cares? I call them.
You saw they're playing cards. It's like, ooh, APA did that last week.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try that.
Exactly. They're looking for Lash LaRue, and they want to play strip poker, and the girls play coy. We don't even know how to play. And as usual, Johnny the Bull's not happy because he's like, we've got a job to do, asshole. Let's go. No, they're going to play strip poker. We go back to Liz and Luger pleading for help, yada, yada. Maestro is stumbling around looking for Symphony. Gene, this has got to be the worst Gene moment ever. Gene's backstage with Mona. She's still there, by the way. Remember her?
Mm-hmm.
And he is legit just straight up staring at her tits while he's asking her a question. Like
worst or best Gene moment? I'm not sure, but
yes.
I mean, you've seen how he's been with the Nitro Girls, and
that's true.
What was the one he's like, let's go out and get some drinks tonight.
The colleges.
Yep. Oh my God.
Yeah, she says, up here, Gene, I'm in a 3-way dance with Medusa and Evan Courageous tonight. Get this. There's a match tonight. It's Medusa versus Evan Courageous, who are fucking each other, versus Mona. If either of the women win, they get a shot at the Cruiserweight title. Because Russo. So let's talk about that match. Medusa just tells Courageous to get out of the ring, so it's really just a one-on-one. Courageous joins commentary. And at one point, Medusa's getting her ass beat, so Courageous makes the save, and Medusa rolls him up for a 3 count. And then Jeff Jarrett comes in and attacks Courageous and hits Medusa in the heat with a guitar and calls out Goldberg for a match. So much for the we don't beat women here in WCW thing.
We don't beat women in WCW. Dude, Lex is clearly throwing his girl to the wolves against Meng. You got Jarrett beating the fuck out of women every week with a guitar. It's, he didn't even take a break.
Yeah.
Because Russo.
All right. LaRue and Disco have Tony Marinara tied to a chair. They stuff newspaper in his mouth to shut him up and tell him they got a special surprise for him tonight. Hooray. We go back to Liz and Luger, and Liz is making it seem like, all right, I'm going to help you out. And Luger's pouring champagne. She's like, no, let me pour it. And then she pours it over his head and walks off. Maestro is still searching, but we get a shot from behind him down the hall with David still has his hand around Symphony's mouth and just kind of goes out of shot. Drags her out of frame. Jean's with Jerry Only and Vampiro. Vampiro stole OK's hat on last Nitro, apparently, and Jerry Only and Vampiro are facing OK and Dr. Death in a tag match tonight. So let's go to that because Russo. OK has a singlet on. He's almost as hairy as Prince Albert. The OK on the singlet is in the style of the WWF logo.
Mm-hmm.
But he's wearing a live mic while he's wrestling. So you can hear it over commentary. It's a shit show. OK and Dr. Death win. Nitro Girls, they're winning at strip poker. We go back to Disco, LaRue, and Marinara. Disco's pouring molasses into a bucket because Russo. And they've got a bag of feathers, so they're going to tar and feather him. And Tony Marinara uses one of my favorite words ever, Stugats.
Couple of Stugatses.
Yeah, well, I don't think he used it right, but anyway. Gene is with the Outsiders. Nash is going to be facing Benoit tonight, and Hall's facing Sting tonight. Hall is facing Benoit in a ladder match for the U.S. title at the next pay-per-view at Starrcade. Next, you get Bret Hart versus the Total Package for the world title. This is announced as one of the main events for tonight. That's taking place at the top. That's taking place at the top of the second hour. The second hour of 3 hours. Sure. Liz comes to the ring. Sting runs in behind her and says, "Who are you going to represent?" Luger gets distracted. Liz and Sting leave, and Bret locks in the sharpshooter to retain. Kurt Hennig is with Curly Bill, a.k.a. Vincent, with Russo. And Hennig says, "Hey, me and Curly Bill go way back. Isn't there something we can hire him for? He's got a hell of a new gimmick." And Vincent says, "Shane."
That's it, just Shane.
Why not keep it going?
Yep.
Russo says, "You know what? You're hired for minimum wage." And then Bertha Faye runs in and starts talking shit.
She has more TV time right now than she did in 1994 against Alundra Blaze.
Yeah.
Fucking Russo. Maybe he was banging Bertha Faye. And he's like, "I got a good spot for you."
I wouldn't surprise me. It's probably all he could get. La Parka's with Russo. Russo calls him Skeletor.
All right, wait. Bertha Faye or Nia Jax? Gun to head.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Gun.
Gun. I've heard you say boom before, but oh God, gun. All right,
Piper Niven.
Okay.
Oh my God. Russo calls La Parka Skeletor, loved him, and says, "You know what? You're the official chairman. I want you to stay here in my office in that corner, and when I crack my knuckles, you hit him with the chair." So Booker and Stevie Ray walk in. Russo says, "You guys are getting a tag title shot tonight." Cracks his knuckles. La Parka hits him with a chair. The Stooges beat him down. Piper arrives to the arena. Then we see David Flair in the boiler room. He is crouched in a corner somewhere, arms still over Symphony's mouth, just rocking back and forth and screaming. He's fucking leaned into this one.
Do you remember when Ric Flair was a major wrestler and they brought his son in? They're like, "All right, we're going to make you a fucking serial killer and rapist." Like this. I'm not saying he was going to be the next Ric Flair, but I'm like, this is what they did with David Flair.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Jeans with Jerry Flynn in the block. Jerry Flynn cuts a promo on Berlin for breaking the rules of the block. And he opens another challenge. Revolution come to the ring. They're dressed as gorillas. I'd like to clarify, I do not mean gorilla like an ape. I mean like military gorillas. They unveil the flag of the Revolution, and Saturn compares it to the Black Panthers, and everybody else is like, oh, wait, chill the fuck out there, bro. That's not what we are. It's a black flag with a white circle with an R in the middle of it. And then the lights go out. Midnight comes in the ring and apparently has a match with Asia. Revolution interferes. Duggan makes the save. He has a real 2x4 with him this time. And again, the numbers are too much.
Well, they didn't use the cardboard one this time. That's
exactly. Zabisco's in the back. He apparently has a meeting with the powers that be. And then Piper's in the back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then Shivani mentions that, hey, we're gonna do a little bit of the throwback here, and we're bringing back the Nitro Party submissions. We got some chick from Peoria, Illinois. It's a goth chick clutching a teddy bear, rocking back and forth, saying she loves David Flair. Because Russo.
And I know who she is, too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, she becomes someone.
All right, there you go. Next, you get Creative Control, apparently, versus Piper. Piper pats them down, goes over the top with it, like just starts grabbing their junk. Goldberg makes the save. Goldberg can't get one of the Creative Control guys up for a jackhammer. It's fucking brilliant. He has to like slingshot him off the fucking ropes and almost kills him.
So he recreated it with The Undertaker.
There you go. Pretty much, yeah. That's where he learned it from.
Jeez.
Piper chokes out one of them with the belt, and he quits. There you go.
I have to say real quick. Speaking of Piper, his name came up recently in Cobra Kai. I just thought it was really funny.
No shit.
The guy goes, man, he goes, if you want to know anything about 80s music or Roddy Piper, I'm your guy. He goes, but it's just like that's how he's. I was like,
well, I mean, because that's what the time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but they give a lot of wrestling references in there. There's one kid they call Penis Breath. Always has like a wrestling shirt on, either like Ultimate Warrior. The other day he was wearing a Mick Foley shirt. It was actually like a Mick Foley tie-dye type shirt. So Cobra Kai gives a lot of nods to wrestling.
Well, I mean, they
if
did
you're a wrestling
Britt
fan,
Baker
get in there and watch it.
Yeah,
exactly.
There you go. Disco Doucher and LaRue, Tar and Feather, Tony Marinara. Back to the Goons and the Nitro Girls. One of the Goons says, I think they're cheating, and they obviously are. Maestro finds Symphony's shoes. You see what I'm saying about fucking 30-second things that just keep recurring? Next, you get Dustin Rhodes versus Meng. The first thing that I thought was, how are they going to pull this off? It's easy because Jeff Jarrett and the Outsiders interfere. Next, you get Zabisco with Russo. Russo says, why does Thunder suck so much? And Zabisco, because you guys are putting it together. You got
Nitro, Thunder, whatever.
Yeah, you got no stars. Russo says, well, that's going to change. All the A players are going to be there. And you know what? We're going to replace the announcers, too. And Zabisco goes, I don't need the job. I do it because they come out there and chant my name, and I love it. Zabisco starts running down Hennig. He goes, this guy used to be a world champion. Now he's stooging for you. Russo says, Zabisco, you know what? All right, you can face Hennig tonight. And Zabisco, you lose, you're fired. Same for Hennig. Again. And then we get a Prince-style vignette with a white dove and a guy sitting in a chair surrounded by candles. But why make it a teaser instead of just let Shivani just fucking tell you exactly what it is? It's the artist formerly known as Prince Iaukea. Because Russo.
And we're going to make him a symbol. Just a little symbol. No one's ever done that before. Not even in music.
That's what it sounds like when doves cry. Next, you get...
I see what you did there.
Next, you get Kurt Hennig with Shane, a.k.a. Curly Bill, a.k.a. Vincent, versus Larry...
A.k.a. Virgil.
A.k.a. Virgil.
A.k.a. Mike Jones.
Yeah. Versus Larry Zabisco, because Russo. We get a ref bump, and listen, this is not by any means... This is a half-a-star match, if that. But Zabisco, at his age, still could bump, still could hit some moves. I mean, he looked pretty clean for what he did.
Well, 2 years before this, he had that match with, was it Scott Hall at Starrcade?
Yep.
No. With Eric Bischoff.
Yes. Yeah, and
He
that match was a
Bischoff
shit show,
through
not
Starrcade.
because of Zbyszko. I mean, it was just a shit show.
But that's when Bischoff went to go kick him, and the thing that was in his shoe flew out into the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Arn Anderson makes a save with a baseball bat, and in 1999, Larry Zbyszko pins Kurt Hennig because Russo. But Creative Control come to the ring. They show the ref the footage of Arn interfering, and they reverse the decision. It's a dusty finish, but the best part about it is Russo probably had no fucking clue what that was at that time. He probably did it without even knowing.
Bro, we're just going to reverse it.
Yeah, pretty much. There's still 1 hour left of this shit show. We go back to Disco Dick Nuts and LaRue. LaRue says, we need a garnish, and they stick an apple in his mouth. Tony Marinara starts kicking, and he falls back in his chair. The Goons and the Nitro Girls. The Goons are still losing, but they get tired of it, so they just grab their clothes and leave. Benoit versus Nash is another one of our main events, but they don't call it a main event this time. They call it a feature match. Why didn't they just use that more? Anyway.
Actually, no one ever uses feature match. I've never even really heard that
Exactly.
until then.
I know, but
they used to do grudge match, remember? It was either a championship match or a grudge match.
Oh, dude, there was a run there where every match had some kind of title or stipulation. Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, they mentioned there's an upcoming show in Buffalo. Hall comes to the ring with the ladder, teasing the ladder match against Benoit's Starrcade, and he joins commentary, and it's great because he takes like the mic pack, but he goes and sits on top of the ladder. Benoit locks in the crippler on Nash. Hall comes in, takes out the ref with the ladder, but Benoit drop kicks the ladder in Nash's face. He sets up the ladder, gets to the top, it splashes Hall instead. Numbers are too much, power bomb. Hall sets up an outsider's edge, but Sid makes the save, and that's how the match ends. No contest, because Russo. DDP is seen arriving to the arena. He must be done filming, ready to rumble. Mean Gene is with Sting. What's the story with Liz? And he says, I've always stayed one step ahead of Luger, and I got 5 words for the outsiders. Don't sing it. Bring it. We hear fake Godfather music hit. The 2 goons come to the ring. They're dressed again. And they cut a promo on those 2 Utes.
What's a Ute?
I'm not making fun. They said that.
Yep.
They call him to the ring. Instead, 2 chicks come out to Disco's music. And Johnny the Bull says, you know what? My mother told me to never hit a broad. Because Russo. Disco and LaRue come in from behind. Tony Marinara makes the save.
I had a suit. I thought. Covered in mud.
So it's either wear this or the other suit, which I know you hate.
God damn. It's just every time I hear 2 Utes, all I can think of is just going, I remember where I was. It was the day after All Out. I will never forget that shit. Just, you had me dying.
You go, did you just do Stroked Out JR?
Yes, I did. Yep.
And yes, I did. We come
that
back
was the first time that was actually born, and now that's how we do JR's voice. We grab a cheek and go.
Oh, my God. We see the goons carrying LaRue and Disco to the back, and they put him in the car. Not in the trunk, just in the back seat of the car. And they start celebrating. So Disco and LaRue just climb into the front seat and drive off. All right. We go back to the Maestro. This time there's weird camera effects, but it's because he unknowingly walked right into the block. And he catches a beating from Jerry Flynn. And then Flynn leaves. And then David drags Symphony and says something to the Maestro and then leaves with Symphony. Gene's with Nick Patrick saying, hey, man, these refs are losing control, so I'm barring everyone from ringside for the Sting Hall match. Sting's in the back with Liz, and Liz is handing him papers, and he's like, oh, you got a stamp on that? Is it ready? You sure it's ready? All right, let's go. So next we get Scott Hall versus Sting. So much for banning everybody because Kevin Nash is there and Liz is there. Patrick eventually sends Nash to the back, but Liz is still there. While the ref is checking on Sting, Liz gets on the apron. Hall does the suck it chop to her. Liz sprays him with the mace. Commentary has to keep saying, we're assuming it's mace, folks. Might be poopery. We don't know. Sting wins with a deathlock, and Heenan does at least make the point to mention that, hey, you know what? Sting never saw Liz come up on the apron and spray him. He had no idea that happened. Hopefully there's a payoff to that.
A big fan of poopery, by the way.
Me too. It's a game
Especially
changer.
when you're at someone's house and you're trying to act like you didn't shit.
It's a game changer, bro. It's a game changer. Right? It's on that. Bring it to the hotels because, the bathroom's always right by the door. There's no room. You got to bring that shit with you, man. Poo-po-re it up. Cover your farts.
I hope WrestleMania is not going to be sponsored by Dude Wipes this year. I hope it's poopery somehow.
Oh, dude. Way better.
Clean your ass.
Clean your ass. Clean your farts. David Flair drags Symphony to the ring, yells shut up a bunch. And then DDP comes out and hits a cutter on him. DDP's supposed to be facing Sid tonight. Calls out the powers that be and says, I got your pay-per-view match with David Flair right here. There's a recent rumor that I heard that I wanted out of my contract because I wanted to go to WWF. The real deal, Paige believes you leave with who brought you to the dance, but lately people close to me ain't doing the right thing, and DDP is out for number 1 again. So, DDP versus Sid. We get a ref bump because wrestling. Sid hits a power bomb. Motions to the crowd for a second one, but the Outsiders interfere. Benoit makes a save, then Jeff Jarrett's in, then Bret Hart's in. Security eventually swarms. Patrick gets on the mic and says, you know what? We're making Jeff Jarrett versus Goldberg a lumberjack match. Me and security are fucking out of here. They want to kill each other. Let them. We come back from the break. The fight's still going on in the ring. Goldberg's music's play. He just sprints to the ring. The heels powder. Then Piper comes in as the ref. The non-combatants are the lumberjacks. Green Bay Packers come out to stop Jeff Jarrett from powdering, and then Dustin drags him to the ring. Jeff Jarrett attacks Goldberg with a chair while Piper's distracted. Spear jackhammer. Goldberg wins. Good night, and thank God, folks.
For anybody listening to this show who has not actually, watched Nitro, it sounds like you're just naming a bunch of nonsense. First, Ric Flair comes to the ring, then Dustin. Here comes the Green Bay Packers. Like, you're just naming a bunch of random shit, but that's what happened.
It's literally what happens. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, it's good and terrible.
Good and
bad,
terrible. Bad and terrible.
That's what I said about Nia Jax's chair shots.
My mom was watching.
Time to go to the top topic. Whoa, stuttered. Now I'm a stuttering JR. I'm like Bubba Ray JR. All right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for...
Best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be. Hold 2, arm bar.
Sodas rule. Yeah, they do.
Hold 3, the moss-covered, 3-handle family granunzel. It's me, Austin.
Just when they think they ain't got the answers, I change the questions.
I did it for The Rock.
This week's top topic.
You know something, Mean Gene? John Cena.
Wrestling's not fake.
The Rolex wearing one. Diamond ring wearing one. Kiss stealing. Woo. Wheeling dealing. One. Limousine riding. One. Jet flying. One. Son of a gun. Woo.
Sierra Hotel. India. Echo. Lima. Delta. Shield.
If you smell.
The following ranking order and final decisions are a completely bias-based order, based off The Professor and ODM made it. And as always, they like to let you know they have not worked in the business, but have been lifelong invested fans much like you, our listeners. With not only their opinions involved, but with countless amount of hours of research done each week, they make sure to provide proper facts and history to back it up. However, they do know that your opinion may vary from theirs. If there is anything you want to chat about, bring to their attention. If there is something they missed or forgot, or you just want to let them know they are out of their freaking minds, feel free to shoot them a message on Facebook or Twitter, or email them at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com. As always, they do appreciate all feedback and continued support. At the end of the day, they want to make sure that you do see the best of the best before you die. And now, this week's top topic.
Just grab a cheek and go. All right, hey, we're back. We are here for the top topic, and today we are bringing it from the Sweet 16. You're Sweet 16. You're Lawler's type of girl. So, the Sweet 16, and we're bringing them down to the Elite 8. That might actually be more like, that's Marty Skrull's kind of girl. Anyway, here we go, man. Let's break them down. Let's get into the the bracket. All right, we're down to just, 8 matches, technically. Well, 8 matchups in this tournament. Here we go. What's left from our previous one? We have opening up. We got Kenny Omega versus Pac the Third. It's the 30-minute Iron Man match. And that goes up against TNA Unbreakable, the X Division Championship match between AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels, who, by the way, is the biggest knockoff of an Adam Pearce that I've ever seen. How they're doing with him on Dynamite. Just got it. If he says I need a drink, then it's full-blown steel.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you here. There's going to be some arguments today. I really feel we're going to fight. Say that again?
I don't think there is.
All right. I think Joe Daniels Styles moves on.
I agree. I looked at this one when I was looking through at the next matchups. This was, I think, one of the ones I had the hardest time with. Because Omega Pac 3 is one of my favorite AEW matches ever. It was just good.
But given what's going to be coming up ahead, I think that we both looked at it the same way then. Good.
Yep.
Good. I'm already happy with that. So, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and AJ Styles moves on. Wow, to the Elite 8. Up next. This is going to be a minute. Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. Takeover. No music for Tommaso's entrance. We have to stress that because it was one of the coolest fucking moments. I've never seen anybody walk out to just straight fuck you Ciampa or their own name. No one has ever done that. You've had people come out with no music, but not like that. And that's going up against WrestleMania 25, which many have said is probably the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. And that's Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Wow. I really like both matches. I was there, obviously, for Taker and Michaels. If you want to see the very best of what Undertaker can do in the ring and what Shawn Michaels has done in the ring, that's your match. Ciampa Gargano was great. The feud was there. It was hot. I still think Taker Michaels is a much bigger classic that Gargano and Ciampa can't beat it.
Gargano Ciampa 1 was certainly the best because it was the kickoff. Like you mentioned, the no music, the crowd, the heat was there. I mean, you couldn't beat it. And it was a good match. And there was a reason to have the match. But no, you're not beating Taker Michaels at 25. There's just no way. No way.
And another thing to note is that Ciampa Gargano closed TakeOver, and it had no title on the line.
Right.
It was just an unsanctioned match or whatever they called it at the time. So it was great for what it was. But, yeah, I mean, I think Taker Michaels, it was a fucking classic. I watched that one yearly. All right. Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 10. And that's going up against Halloween Havoc, the Cruiserweight Championship versus Rey's Mask. So Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. Given the rest of the tournament, I do think that this is the best Cruiserweight Championship, or Cruiserweight match that anybody could really think of. And it showcased both of these guys in their youth. They weren't even in their fucking prime at that point.
Oh, yeah.
I think Mysterio Guerrero.
Wow. You know, quick side note before I forget about it. We didn't even put AJ Styles Nakamura and New Japan in here. But either way.
It's true.
Side note.
Yo, there's like 100 matches we could have added to this thing.
No,
we
100%,
had to keep it to 64.
100%. No, I mean, I think the whole premise of this all started with Omega Okada 1. Mysterio Eddie is great. You're right. They weren't even in their prime yet. They still had, hella matches after this. And in a sea of cruiserweights at the time, this stood alone. Mysterio's gear was over the fucking top. The mask was on the line.
These two just gelled. It was a clean match. It was just, it really is like where you're like, well, was it? If you tell somebody comes to you like, what the fuck's a cruiserweight match? This.
Yeah.
And Mysterio Eddie going to the losers bracket. If we end up doing a losers bracket, to me that's a top contender for making the Final Four. You know what I mean? But ultimately, this whole tournament was birthed out of the idea in my mind out of having Weezy watch Omega Okada 1. It has to move on.
Okay. I'm going to let you have that one. Because I think we may fight coming up soon.
All right.
Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit. Royal Rumble 2003. Benoit gets the standing ovation.
Mm-hmm.
Going against Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi. From Ring of Honor, the pay-per-view named Joe Kobashi. Very big fan of Chris Benoit. We all know that. If anybody wants to see a stiff match, I love watching old stiff matches from Vader, Stan Hansen, Misawa, all the guys. Like the fucking anything in Japan really was the shit back in the early 90s. If you know who Samoa Joe is, you want to see the toughness of that fucking bastard going against Kenta Kobashi. Love Angle, love Benoit, both fantastic technical wrestlers. But it's what's going to get someone excited to watch wrestling, right? All different types of wrestling. You got your, submission type wrestling, which is exactly what Benoit and Angle are, but you want to see a fight? I think Joe Kobashi personally should go on.
So, it's funny because, the whole idea behind this is matches that people haven't seen. And part of that is not just mainstream stuff. It's stuff that you would never see unless you talk to somebody who knows what they're looking at. Angle Benoit at the Rumble, it's one of my favorite Angle or Benoit matches. Those two just fucking tore down the house. But again, part of this is getting exposed to things you normally wouldn't see. I can't say I've seen Joe Kobashi. It doesn't ring a bell. I mean, you've shown me a lot of shit that I haven't seen before. I think for that alone, I want Joe Kobashi to
I sent it to you.
You sent me 15,000 matches over the course of 3 months. There's no way I can watch them all. And I have a life.
Oh, come on, man. Don't start with lies.
I know, exactly. I know. Who am I kidding? I'm with you on
Joe
that one.
Kobashi is
You gave me
moving
the
on.
last one. I'm with you. Let's move Joe Kobashi
Fair.
on.
This one I think could be a really tough debate. Hulk Hogan or Hollywood Hogan against The Rock at WrestleMania 18, Toronto, Skydome. That goes against Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada 3. No time limit, and it's a 2 out of 3 falls match. Why is it a no time limit? Well,
No
we
spoilers.
can let this go because, would you say no spoilers?
No spoilers, right?
Not even, well, hang on, the other matches aren't even in, the second match isn't in here, Dominion.
Okay, fair enough.
Dominion?
Yeah.
All right, well then, I already have
Fair
spoiled it.
enough.
If you could fucking draw the lines, you're done. All right, I got to be honest with you. Omega Okada, I mean, fuck. The first fall, I don't think even comes for like 30 minutes maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just such a good fucking back and forth match. I love Hogan and Rock. I love the energy. I had to go back and rewatch it. But Omega Okada moves on for me.
Wow. I actually was going to make the other argument.
No shit.
Yeah, Omega Okada 3 is, like you said, it's a banger. It's fucking fantastic. It's a perfect way to end the trilogy. It literally is the perfect way to end that trilogy.
I think it's better than Wrestle Kingdom or Dominion.
I like Wrestle Kingdom for personal reasons. It was the introduction. It's a way to get acquainted. And the way that I look at it is, if we were to sit down and just say which of the three should Weezy watch, it's the first one. Get to know the guys, come into it, and just fucking follow the feud from there. If he wants to watch Dominion, if he wants to watch the no time limit one, then he can do that afterwards. I'll hook him up and we can watch it. Hogan Rock is electric. That's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. More so than fucking Cena Rock because it was unscripted.
Twice
it was
in a lifetime.
unplanned. It was just the again. I've said it every time we've talked about this match. I hate to use the fucking trope, but the electricity was just off the fucking charts. So I was gonna say Hogan Rock, but if you pick Omega
I
Okada
can't believe
3,
you just switched me. No, but I can't believe you just switched my opinion. Holy shit. I'm with you.
Right?
Here's the deal. Yeah, you're right. If you want to move on after the first one, we'll hook you up. But, man, I'm just remembering now Kenny Omega's entire entrance and video package before meeting Okada for the first time.
The Terminator.
If I'm not mistaken. Terminator. Yeah. Yeah, it was the shit. All right. I'm going to give you Hogan Rock on this one, man. Holy shit.
Convincing, aren't I?
Yeah. This next one I think is a slam dunk. I don't think we're going to have to argue too much on it.
Yeah.
Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat, the second. And that one, I believe, is where, if I'm not mistaken, Steamboat gets the title. I think he got the title in the second match. I could be wrong.
Believe you are correct.
And that's going up against Undertaker versus Triple H from WrestleMania 28, Hell in a Cell, end of an era. The cell moves on.
Yep. Agreed. No arguments here. Listen, we're not we're not here to take anything away from Flair and Steamboat, but
yeah. I mean, it's 3 years difference from the Undertaker that we saw against Shawn Michaels. But a different kind, and I kind of dug. This is when he came out bald too.
Yes, the faux hawk, right?
Yes, and
yeah,
bald.
But here's the other thing too. WrestleMania 25. I mean, again, you're looking at the Okada Omega trilogy. This is the Triple H, HBK Taker story.
Taker. It was the kickoff.
25 was the first match, and
this
was the end of it. I mean,
fair,
full circle.
I like it. Coming up next, another WrestleMania match from 13. The submission match between Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret the Hitman Hart. And that is going against FTR versus the Briscoes for their first meeting, which was at Supercard of Honor 2022. That year was an amazing trilogy for those two tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
They did Supercard of Honor, then Death Before Dishonor was a 2 out of 3 falls match, and then the third one was a double dog collar match, which was that Final Battle. And again, fuck you, Nightwing. Sorry, just got to say it, man. I'm sorry. I went to go see a fucking Christmas musical play with my family on that day. It was on my birthday, and I didn't want to go, but I knew when I got home I got to watch Final Battle.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, well, I got the text on the way home. That's what the problem was. I'll be honest. I love, you know me. I'm a tag team wrestling junkie. However, double turn.
It's too big.
You can't. I think it's too strong.
It's too big. It's up there with Taker HBK Taker HBK at 25. It's up there. It's one of the best WrestleMania matches, let alone WWE matches.
And if you've only ever seen Bret Hart as a good guy, this is the one to watch. Because you see him like literally turning in the match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he already built his way towards that by being a crybaby the whole fucking time leading into it, but all the way through. You ain't nothing but a crybaby. You remember this? You low down stinking hyena?
Yeah.
Miss that. So I think Austin and Bret is what can move on.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And the final match, we have Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic against, and that's their first match, which took everybody by surprise. And that is against Bret Hart and Owen Hart, their second match, the Steel Cage. I'm all for the brothers match, to be honest with you. I think storyline, wrestling, and crowd excitement, and the unknowing of who would actually end up winning, I think Bret and Owen was a much better match.
This is a fun one to kind of just discuss and work through because ultimately I don't think it's going to matter who wins this one. That's just my 2 cents. But let's stay with this. You obviously are a much bigger Bret and Owen fan than I am. Now, I'm ultimately going to say not by much because, I mean, I had the Bret Hart sunglasses, always was a huge Blue Blazer fan. So, you know, and the brother rivalry is perfect. It writes itself, and these guys are some of the best wrestlers to ever do it. So anything they did was pure gold, and these guys just worked so well together. It is an iconic match. And it seems to get overlooked in their list of matches. It seems to get
Everybody
ranked
looks
a
at
little bit.
WrestleMania 10 first.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to go with Keith Lee Dijakovic because it was two guys you didn't know. And story aside, we're not here to talk about necessarily storylines. Obviously, storyline does play into it because we've used it for other matches, right? But, I mean, because the storyline is simple. It's the brothers, right? But Keith Lee Dijakovic, you look at these guys and you're like, who are these fucking generic creator wrestlers? And then they put on...
And that's just the reason I wouldn't let it move on.
But they put on a fucking banger of a match, and they moved like guys you wouldn't expect. So as somebody who hasn't seen wrestling...
If this was an all NXT tournament, fine. I'm with you. I'll let Lee and Dijakovic move on. It's not better than Bret and
on
Owen.
the principle alone. Okay, fair enough. No, you got me.
I'm saying it's just not. And you know what? I let you win a couple earlier. I'm telling you right now.
All right. Well, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. Because if you're wrong,
I get it.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Stay black.
All right, fine.
No. I'm with you on this one, 100%.
I was going to say, anybody who thinks Lee Dijakovic is better than Bret and Owen is not a wrestling
But
fan.
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what
I get it.
somebody watch.
That's what somebody should watch. That was a real fucking feud. That was a hardcore feud instead of just one really tall white guy and one really fat black guy fighting and beating the fuck out of each other on NXT.
You know what? You prove my point. That you explained the whole match right there. We don't need to watch
it. I'm just saying, it's to me, you have to have substance.
No, I'm with you.
All right. Well, that being said, hey, I'll do your job this week. Let me try this one out. So, in 2 weeks, we're going to be moving on with this. We're going to be going into the finals, which is now from Elite 8 to the Final 4. And are we doing it all in one day? Or no, we have then our 2 weeks.
No, so the idea here is, the working idea is when we get to the Final 4, I'm going to sit down and record with Weezy. If we can get you on a conference call, we'll try to do that, just so you can be in part of it. And Weezy's going to watch both matchups, and he's going to pick the winners, and from there he'll pick the winner of the finals. So basically he's going to watch all 4 and determine who is the champion, who goes to the finals, and who is the champion.
Okay, so, and that'll be in 2 weeks, and you know what else that is? It's Non-Wrestling 7. So we're going to have a top topic,
pressure.
but it's also kind of non-wrestling. Is Weezy going to be around for that?
We might be able to set that up.
I think we should. All right, well, let's see here. What we have moving on is in 2 weeks, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and AJ Styles are going up against Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. All right, that one's going to fuck with me. Omega Okada 1 will go against Joe Kobashi. Now we can fight. Now we're going to argue.
That's fine.
Hogan and The Rock up against Undertaker and Triple H in the Hell in a Cell.
That's a hell of a matchup right there.
It is. And it's 2 big WrestleMania matches. And then the final matchup is going to be 2 Bret Hart matches. Bret as a heel versus Austin, and Bret as a face versus Owen in the cage.
Pretty awesome.
That one, I think I have a pretty good idea as to what would move on. I think I'm pretty easy on what would lean for that, but man, the Joe Kobashi Omega Okada is going to be quite a fight, I feel. Because I know this whole thing was based on just that one match or how it began, but again, until you... All right, motherfucker, you got 2 fucking weeks to watch Joe Kobashi.
Actually, here, let me get my little Post-it note out here.
It's on YouTube. Very easy to find.
Kobashi.
There it is.
Bam.
Next week, though, hey, either I'm here or I'm not here. but the show's going to go on. And when it does, if it does next week, we're going to be chatting a little bit about some Christmas stuff, a little Christmas music, our Mount Rushmore of some Christmas movies, getting into holiday cheer, the holiday fun. Actually, when we did some decorating, as we do every year, we always throw on a Christmas movie in the background. And, man.
Die Hard?
Can I fill your eggnog? Take you out somewhere, leave you for dead?
If I woke up with my head stapled to the carpet, I wouldn't be any more surprised than I am right now.
Oh, my God. Save the neck for me, Clark. Okay, Eddie. Oh, well, we'll be back next week. We are the Top of Wrestling Podcast. I am the Professor. I bid you a farewell. He is ODM. As I said, ODM, I love you. So give us your thoughts.
Thanks, Professor. I just want to end by saying I hope you start feeling a little bit better. Take it easy on Saturday nights. Weezy, get ready because we got some wrestling to watch. It's coming up soon. We got to start planning it. That rat motherfucker at work, you can still eat a dick. Hi, Joe wife. Hi, Joe kids. And this is ODM, not saying goodnight, just saying.
Blame it on the rain. Yeah, yeah. Blame it on something.
The Top of Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by The Top of Wrestling Podcast. Your hosts are the Professor Mark Fantasia and ODM, the Doc Joe Rizzo. Feel free to reach out to the show by email at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com, on their Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. You can listen to the show on most popular platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, Pandora, and YouTube. Without your continued support, it would be just some guys talking wrestling, which is pretty much what it is anyway. Good night, folks.
Sounds good. Oh, by the way, I purposely took the squirrel out of the photo. That photo that I sent you, and I was like, did I send you this photo here?
Yeah.
But Jacob wasn't there, and it was a fat squirrel.
Yeah.
So it was obviously that boy meeting his critter counterpart.
I know.
But I was like, God damn it. It's too noticeable, and if Laura sees it, I got no fucking beef with her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to take it out of the
We've
photo.
already
Like,
gone
bro.
pretty hard at him. The only thing we haven't done is call him out by name. You know what I mean at this point? But I mean, it's not like she's listening.
That shit. No. But I mean, if she saw the logo.
The logo, yes.
And she's like, huh, I took that photo. So
what you should try to do is get it small. Like, I'm going to point at my screen like you can see what I'm fucking pointing at.
Just make it somewhere in here.
The film holes on the side of the logo, just put it in one of those so it's super small. Like, you'll know it's there, but, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it, But if you want to fuck around, Easter egg it.
I was dying. I was like, as soon as I saw that, I go, okay, if that's not the fat feeding the fat.